to the true episode 1, I guess, of Saturdays from the Sidelines. Yeah, I did a brief introduction, just kind of briefly doing the outline of the show, but this is the true episode 1. We're going to break down all the games this week, kind of give our insight on what we think, how they might go. I mean, obviously, we're not experts. I feel like I might be a little more qualified than Booger McFarlane, but I don't know if that's truly the case. But yeah, we're going to start off by giving probably our playoff champion, and then we'll go into the Thursday night games because it's currently Thursday right now. Some pretty big shockers, I would say, going on right now. Some live, obviously some of the games aren't done at the time of this recording, but the way it's trending right now, it's looking pretty grim already for some teams. So, Chase, if you want to start off with your college football champion, we were going to talk about our 4 semifinal teams. Just skip right to the top 4 and then pick a champion from there instead of doing the 1 through 12, because that's honestly just way too complex with given what the information we have right now, which is nothing. So I would just go top 4.
All right, top 4. I would say I got to put Penn State up there. As much as I don't trust James Franklin, I trust that team. They have a lot of returning talent that I think can go very far away. I like LSU a lot this year.
LSU.
I'm big on LSU this year. I got a good feeling about them. Notre Dame's another good team, and and then this is a tough one for me. I truly think it's going to come down to either Georgia or Ohio State. That's going to slide in there either at the 3 or 4 spot. But
All right.
those are my teams, I think, for my 4. What about yours?
I'm gonna go my 4. So I'm gonna be cliche. I'm gonna go number 1. I'm gonna go Texas. Here's the thing though. I don't know how much I truly trust Arch Manning, because I feel like, well, we haven't seen him at all. He started 2 games last year, I think it was, against basically 2 sure wins. I can't even remember what they were, but another one wasn't even I don't even think it was an SEC opponent. I think it was just basically an FCS team. It was pretty, I mean, it was what you would expect from Arch Manning, but he was going to be against nobody. So it's hard to tell what he truly has. I don't know. Like I said, there's just no telling what he's capable of in this moment, especially going on the road to Ohio State. Like, we'll learn a lot there. But I think Texas has enough help on both sides of the football, either way, to help kind of carry him. I would hope, at least. I mean, I don't know. I mean, Texas has been I feel like every single year we're saying Texas is going to be in the national title. We're going to win the national title. And this is 3 years now where they have not made the national title. So I don't hope it's their year, because I'm not a big Texas guy, but I'm going to say that I'm going to put them 1. Really no order. I'm just going to give my 4, but I would say Texas 1 of the 4. Then I'm going to go Clemson. I think Cade Klubnik just being back for his final year, it feels like he's been there for ever. I mean, yeah, yes. Not quite as bad as Sean Clifford or Stetson Bennett, but I mean, he's getting up there at this point. But I think Clemson is one of the most, I would say they're the second most sound team behind Penn State. I think Penn State is the most sound team in the country. They're my 3rd team. Number 4, see, that's the tough one for me. It's picking the number 4 team. I want to say Georgia, given the past years, but I'm not gonna say Georgia. I'm gonna skimp over them, and I'm gonna, man, I really don't want to do it, but I'm gonna say Alabama, which is
they have a really good roster.
Yeah, it's kind of a bold move, but I don't know. I think under Kalen, under his second year there, I think that he's a little more settled in. I mean, it's nobody can fill the shoes of Nick Saban. So from that standpoint, I feel like I would be. I mean, I think he handled it pretty well. I mean, obviously they went 9-4, but it was from an
It was a
Alabama.
rough 9-4 for an
Yeah, yeah,
Alabama team. It was
yeah.
a rough
For
9-4.
yeah, for sure. For like an Alabama fan, 9-4 is just not going to cut it. And I think that
Hmm.
they have a. I think they have a good enough team this year. I see. I don't know. I'm not sold on them being at 4, but it wouldn't surprise me. I think 4 is like a very interswappable, but I think for sure I would almost lay money that Clemson, Texas, and uh, Penn State are your sure bets for the top 3. Then you can't count out Ohio, man. It's so hard to. I mean, obviously Ohio State's always there too. So I don't know. That's
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say my champion is, as much as I truly hate to say it, and I don't know if I want to put my faith in this guy given past experiences, but I'm gonna say James Franklin wins his first national title in Penn State. I think it'll come down to Penn State and Clemson in the national title, and I think Penn State wins their first national title since what, the 80s.
Yeah, I think that's a very, very good guess, I guess. I don't know what other word to say there, but I think that'd be a very good prediction. Penn State definitely has the roster this year to do it. Not that they haven't had it in the past, but this year it just seems like they have finally all of the pieces to make that happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to like. You can't, like, Tyler Warren was such a big part of their offense last year. Like, the dude was
Yes,
literally 3/4 of their offense. I feel like every time that they were in a sticky situation, they're just tossing it up to Tyler Warren, and he was catching
yeah.
everything.
I mean, he
But
always came down with it.
what I've heard, I actually work with a guy, huge Penn State fan, diehard Penn State fan. It's pretty sad to see. I'm just kidding, but but he claims that they are like filled at the tight end position, like it's next man up mentality. So I don't know. I don't like I said, I don't know if they're gonna fill Warren's shoes. Those are pretty big shoes to fill. But then again, Pat Fryermuth had pretty big shoes to fill, and Tyler Warren filled those. So it's
Yes, yes, he did.
it's hard to say. But yeah, I don't know. I would say either way you paint it, what's gonna come down to probably one of those 3 for me. But I guess moving on to tonight. So this is Thursday, August 28th. Um, Kind of in my eyes, the first true games of the season. Obviously we had Iowa State, Kansas State last week in Dublin, which was the true, I guess, first game. Um, from an actual standpoint, but I don't. Week 0 is just kind of like you only have that one game. The rest are kind of whatever. But I feel like the
Yeah,
Thursday, the Thursday before Saturday is like the true kickoff. Like you week 0 teases you a little bit, and then Thursday night you're like, it's here. It's finally here. Um,
yeah.
so it is now final. Boise State has gotten absolutely mauled by South Florida at home. And I gotta say, I'm a little surprised. And by a little, I mean I am shocked at the way that game went.
Yeah, South Florida's defense really showed up. They gave up that touchdown early, and then they just came out and put up 10, and then that fake punt that
Dude, the
has
fake
been
punt.
everywhere. It's been amazing. It was awesome to watch live. I was cheering visibly in the living room. My wife looking at me like I was crazy, but I very much enjoyed it.
I I don't know. I don't know where Boise goes from here, to be honest with you. Like, that's such a terrible loss in the first week of the season. I don't know. Given their schedule, like, do you think they'll be able to recover?
I don't know, to be honest with you. I'm pulling up their schedule right now, and I mean they have to go to they have some tough games coming up. They got to go to Notre Dame, which is going to be a brutal game. Um, they have their final game of the season's at Utah State. Utah State's a decent football team. I mean they're not top tier, but then they got Colorado State at home. They also have to play UNLV at home. And I mean, They definitely have some improvements to make, especially in the run game. It was shocking to see what Genti was able to do there last year compared to what their running looked like this year. It was kind of a letdown, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I just looking at their season right now. I'm gonna say week 6. You might as well just chalk that up as a loss. I mean, you're going to South Bend. It's a 3:30 game. I mean, it's week 6. They might figure out some holes by then. I don't think they even have the team to win, to be honest with you there. But then again, I want to retract this statement because this is a Notre Dame team that last year they lost to Northern Illinois. So, and then they go to the
Right.
national title. So I would say anything's possible, but I don't know, I would hope a 3:30 game against Boise State. I don't think that Notre Dame is going to sleepwalk a team like Boise State, even if they are at the time, 2-4, whatever. I mean, it's Boise State. You know they're
Yeah.
going to give you
Mhm.
a decent run every time.
Mm.
So it's not like they're kind of to the point now with their program that nobody sleepwalks on them anymore. Ever since they beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl, like the sleepwalking's done with Boise State. Everybody
No,
knows who they
I
are.
want to
So
say I want to say tonight they brought it up during the game that they've had 19 years since like 98, I believe, or 96. I might be wrong, but of 10 plus win seasons. So that's an impressive stat to have. They're up there with like Oklahoma is one of those teams that are just win. They find ways to win games.
yeah, dude, I'm looking up right now. I think was it Chris Peterson? I think was his name, was the coach, if I remember right. Chris Peterson was the Boise State coach. Yes, it is Chris Peterson. He went and coached at Washington as well. And I mean, Chris Peterson's a hell of a coach, don't get me wrong, but he's kind of like what started the Boise State dynasty there. They had all those great years under Chris Peterson. That's whenever they won the Fiesta. I think they won what back was it 2 Fiesta Bowls? I can't
Yeah,
remember. I know the one they had Kellen Moore, and then the other guy, man, I cannot think of his name right now. But either way, they won both of those. I think. I mean, I remember the Statue of Liberty play, and that was just like Boise was like that team that you watch and they're pulling like tricks out of their hat. Like they're just gonna do a bunch of outrageous shit to beat you, and it was really
yeah,
entertaining to watch. But now they've evolved into a more of a blue blood program. Honestly, I feel like they're
yeah.
always ranked. It seems like they always have a good team. So just
Hmm.
needless to say, I'm just shocked that they went all the way down to Florida. Far game. I mean, it's the other end of the
Yeah,
country, but to lose by to lose by 27 like that. Wow.
yeah. It's impressive by South Florida. Their defense looked really good. I mean, they're a small school. Maybe it's not just a hype train, but you never know. These small schools like to come up out of nowhere and just really play lights out.
Yeah, and what was that guy's name? He was a quarterback there, and it was like the last great South Florida team. His last name was Flowers. I cannot remember what his first name was. I know it, but I just cannot think of it right now. But he was a fantastic quarterback there in college. I think he
Quentin
went.
Flowers.
Who was it?
Quentin
Yeah,
Flowers?
yeah, Quentin Flowers. Yep, that's him. Yeah, he was a
Yeah.
phenomenal quarterback there. Really, the last great quarterback they've had, and they had a great team that year. Actually, I mean, if I remember right, I think they were actually close to going undefeated with him, but I can't really remember. Um, but yeah, I mean, just to say the least, completely shocked by the way that went. Then you have Maryland, or not Maryland, Rutgers and Ohio. And I don't even know it's funny to me because I was going to I had like a 6-leg parlay made up and I put Rutgers in my parlay. And I just reiterated to some of the guys at work just how big of a lock it was for Rutgers to win. Like they're at home at a night game and they're playing the Ohio Bobcats. And Ohio comes out and
Yes.
does this. Like needless to say, I'm happy that I didn't put them in my parlay. I'm happy my parlay, I forgot about it and never placed it. But how could you, if you're Greg Schiano, I think that's what his name is. I can't remember, I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name wrong there, but if you're him, how do you let this happen? First game of the season at
Yeah,
home.
up 17 at one point. I mean, you were doing everything right, and then I you let the Ohio Bobcats come out. Hey, man, maybe this is a sign for the Ohio Bobcats. Maybe they're going to take over the MAC this year. Maybe they're going to run that. You
Yeah, I
never
mean
know.
that is true. I mean, I think from what I've heard, Toledo has a hell of a team for being a MAC team.
Yeah,
Um, but either way, I mean, you go in the Rutgers and you lose by 3, like I don't
yeah. I
care.
mean,
I
a
don't
small
care what you.
school.
Yeah, that's a win in my eyes. I mean,
Mhm.
and on the flip side, what does this say about Rutgers going forward, dude? I mean,
Especially with the Big Ten schedule, man. That's it's rough. I mean, I know the Big Ten, they've added a lot of teams and stuff and shaken a lot up in the past couple years, but still, I mean, you're still playing team
yeah,
in,
dude.
team out. I mean, those are Big Ten opponents. That's not a cakewalk schedule.
Yeah, dude. You got Iowa in week 4, 8 p.m. game at home, which we learned home field advantage for Rutgers means basically nothing. Um, So you got Iowa at home in week 4. You got Washington. You got to go to Washington in week 7. It's a 9 o'clock game, mind you. They got to go to Minnesota, which Minnesota, a Rutgers Minnesota game doesn't carry the hype that like a Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan, Minnesota game does. So I mean, they might be able to escape there. I'm sure it'll be a noon game, probably just your typical Big Ten game. But then on top of that, they've got to play Oregon in the last half of their season. They got to play Oregon. They got to play Ohio State. They got to play Penn State. They got to play Illinois. Like these are all respectable, especially like obviously Penn State, Ohio State, Oregon, but Illinois in recent years, like they, what's his name? I can't. Oh, what is his name? Is it Brett Bellama? I think that's what his name is. He is really turning Illinois around, dude. Like he's making Illinois into a not just a respectable program, but a team that you actually have to prepare for.
Yeah, I mean, they're entering the year as a 12th ranked team. So like they've earned a little bit of respect there. I mean, and we're gonna find out early if that 12 rank is truly a thing. I mean, they turn around, they've got to play Indiana in week 4. Um, which Indiana is a top 20 team. So we'll see how they are, and then they got USC right after that. So we'll see what this Illinois team's really done to improve and see if they're really a contender or not.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I would like to see another team emerge in the Big Ten because I feel like every year now obviously you have USC, Oregon, Washington, those being added, but I feel like before those teams set those teams aside, every single year in the Big Ten, it's the same 3 teams every year. It's Ohio State, it's Michigan, it's Penn State. It's those 3 teams. They sit on a pedestal above the entire other big rest of the Big Ten, and it's almost like you want another contender. Sometimes you get Iowa. They have a great season.
Yeah,
Every single time Iowa has a fantastic season, there's always a part that just hinders them so badly that they won't ever truly have a chance. Like a few years ago, they had that fantastic team, but their offense was horrible. I mean,
yeah.
3 points was like asking for
Incredible
$1
to come
million.
by.
Yeah, it's like you
Yeah.
couldn't. That team couldn't buy points that year, but their defense was outstanding. And
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. Nebraska has been pretty lackluster. I mean, we'll see what they have. They have that Dylan Raiola. Um, obviously he was committed to Georgia, and then he went to Nebraska and decided he wanted to be a great value Patrick Mahomes. But needless to say, he is still a 5-star quarterback. So we'll see what happens there. But I don't know, man. It would be cool to see somebody else kind of emerge in the Big Ten
it
and
would.
throw a wrench in some of these other teams. Just it makes for better football games. But
Correct, yeah.
then I feel like we'll talk about 2 more. I'm going to talk about Elon and Duke. I don't really know too much about this game. I just looked up. I want to see what the score is actually right now live because this game was a 10-10 ball game and it's at Duke. Okay, it's 17-10 right now. Third quarter, 9 minutes left. But Manny Diaz, I mean, I I I I'm not throwing Manny Diaz under the bus and saying he's on the hot seat. or anything, but I feel like last year was a great year for Manny Diaz and Duke. Having said that,
Yes.
like the I feel like every game last year for Duke was the same exact way this is right now. They're they're like fighting for their life, and I don't. Manny Diaz, I mean, granted, he may have inherited a program that was kind of, I wouldn't say dead because Mike Elko was there, but Mike Elko was there
Right.
for, he wasn't there very long. I mean, he was there and gone, here, there, and gone, basically. So it's not like he's inheriting a program that was in the dumps, but he, I don't know. I feel like they're gonna have to see something from him to where
In order.
like an improvement. I mean, it's not like you're playing Elon, okay? I mean, it's not the Elon Phoenix and you're winning 17-10 at home. I just this was the same old narrative as last year in week 1. I understand Duke's more of a basketball team, whatever. That sometimes it's a joke, whatever, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see how that pans out, but 17-10 against Elon, it ain't looking too hot for old Manny D. But yeah, and then the last one I think we'll discuss is Nebraska Cincinnati. What are you thinking there?
So that game, I think, just started, did it not?
Yeah, I think
Yes.
starts at
Um,
9. Yeah,
yeah, so that game just started here. I'm not sure what to think of that. I would like to think Nebraska could keep together and play really well, but that Cincinnati team, Cincinnati just ever since they had that one really good season there a few years back, they've just been consistently a really good team. Um, with that being said, they have their quarterback Sorbsby, I think his name is. Yeah, Brendan Sorbsby. Um, he he's a junior. I'm not sure what his stats really were last year, but so far this game he's been playing pretty well. I would, like I said, I'd like to think that Nebraska would be able to do something there, but I'm really not sure if they're going to be able to beat Cincinnati.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Matt Rule, like I like to think that Matt Rule is gonna be able to turn Nebraska around. Having said that,
Yeah.
I don't know if I completely buy into Matt Rule. Matt Rule had that one that well, a couple. He had like two great seasons down at Baylor, and they were great.
Yes.
But then he went to Carolina. I get it. Sometimes college football coaches don't translate to the NFL. Like that's a pretty known thing. I mean, look at Nick Saban. Nick Saban, the greatest coach in college football history. His NFL career as a coach didn't pan out. So that just tells you
No.
that's your greatest example that the two leagues you can be a great coach in one and a lackluster coach in the other. It's just, and it's a lot
Correct.
different whenever you're coaching grown men versus coaching young student athletes. Those are two polar opposite poles, and that's why when they go to the NFL, it's such a wake up call for a lot of them because it's so much different. Like you might be 22 years old, 23 years old, but you're playing against a dude that's 31, and it's I don't know, just a lot. But having said that, his tenure at Carolina was well not good to say the least, and then he comes back to Nebraska, and this is kind of a redemption, I guess, for Matt Rule. He needs this more than well, I don't know. I would say Nebraska and Matt Rule equally need this to turn around both of them for both of their path going
Yes.
forward. I The thing about Nebraska is Nebraska, I don't know what the stat line is on it, but it don't matter if they're winning by 24 points. That game is going to end by 5 points or less as the margin.
Yeah, they seem to always, it always
And
comes down to the wire with them.
I'm pretty sure that they were well, I don't even want to throw a stat out there because I don't know what it is, but I know they were 0 and something when it came to games with 5 points or less. They are horrible in close games. They almost always lose, and it's been the same It's been the same old narrative. Scott Frost, every single game they were in it, they didn't win it. Every single time. He was that team was 6-6 or 4-8 or 5-7 or something in that of that nature. But
Yeah.
realistically they had a chance to be 12-0. That's how close all their games were. So
Yeah, I mean, right here, I just pulled something up here. It says one score game record since 2017 with Nebraska. And consistently they don't have over 2 wins, and were over 500 one time in 2020. They were 2-3. So right there, or well, not even over 500. I'm sorry, they were below 500 at all times. Uh, since 2017, they haven't won a game 8 points or fewer.
yeah, and that speaks volume to me. That is such a
Yeah.
horrible stat to be on the wrong side of. So I think they will. I think they will beat Cincinnati. I think they will. It's a tough environment. It's at Cincinnati. It's on the road. I expect it to be close. I think Nebraska will pull away late. I think I'm expecting like a 10-point victory for Nebraska. I don't know, maybe like 27-17, 27-20. I think it'll be I don't know. I think it'll be relatively low scoring. I don't predict anything in the 40s or 50s. I don't think both of these offenses are
Yeah.
capable of getting to that point. Um, but I don't know.
Agreed, and
I
I
mean,
don't
we'll
think either defenses are much worse to let one of those offensive overpower them.
it is a Thursday night football game though, so it's hard to tell.
That is true. You never know what the hell's gonna happen in this.
All right. So there's a couple decent games tomorrow, but the one that stands out to me is Auburn at Baylor, 8 p.m.
Hmm.
Obviously, you have Georgia Tech at Colorado. I'm just gonna skimp over that game real quick. I think Georgia Tech goes to Colorado, and I think they. I'm not gonna say they embarrass Colorado, but I think they commandingly win. We're talking Haynes King is back for his 15th year. What it feels like. Um, he's good. I mean, I'm a Georgia Bulldog
Yeah.
fan, and Haynes King gives me anxiety because I don't know what it is, but he is so hard to tackle, apparently. I don't know why, but he is. Like, so many times I watched our defense and he just shrugged them off. And it was so frustrating to me. I'm not glazing Shadur Sanders, but I don't know who their quarterback is, Colorado. They lost Travis Hunter. Uh, they
Yes, they
lost,
lost. Yeah.
they lost other people in the portal. Like, it's just, I don't think that Colorado,
That.
I don't think Colorado has the pieces to hang with Georgia Tech, even though here's the one thing that is in their favor. It's 8 o'clock at home. That's it. The rest is kind of,
Yeah. I mean, they lost a ton of talent, like you said. Both the Sanders brothers. They lost Jimmy Horn Jr., who was drafted. Colton Hood was good for them last year. They lost a lot of good players. So I don't really know what that team's gonna look like this year. I guess it's a good way to find out.
and not only
And
that, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I'm saying not only that,
no,
but
you're good.
I don't know what their backup or starting quarterback this year is. But last year, Shador Sanders lived running. Whether that was
Yes.
self-induced or not, I mean, we've seen in preseason, like Shador Sanders, I think he just is not a comfortable pocket passer. Like, I think he's literally better whenever he's moving around. Because I've seen him throw some pretty shitty footballs whenever he's in the pocket to the point where I'm like, what are you doing? But whenever he's moving around, extending the play, that's whenever he shines. So
Hmm.
whether or not this was self-induced or not, uh, I don't know. But one thing I will say is the line for Colorado last year was atrocious. It was horrible.
It
Every
was.
single play, he was running for his life. So I don't follow Colorado enough to know what holes they filled at offensive line. I'd have to read up and see and look at if they did
Mhm.
anything there. I would like to think they did something because obviously it wasn't working. But I don't know. They're gonna have to do something because I don't know. I think that Georgia Tech is the much better team. than Colorado, personally.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely find out. I agree with that assessment. I think Colorado has a lot to prove if they're gonna be any sort of competition this year.
Uh, Moving on to Baylor and Auburn, I feel like we know um what the I guess feel I don't know. We know what Baylor football is about with Dave Aranda. Like they're a defensive driven football team. Dave Aranda is a fantastic defense coordinator, and he's taken that to Baylor.
Yeah,
Auburn,
and Baylor's one of those teams I love to see do well.
yeah, I do as well. I hope he turns. I mean, I think last year he was starting to heat up. He was starting to cook towards the end of the season last year. So I think
Mhm.
it's going to be huge to see if he can transition that to this year. I think it's going to be big for him if he wants to keep his job. I think that he's right now.
Yeah.
I would label him as safe, but it was pretty rough in the beginning for Dave Aranda, and I think that he's gonna this year tells a lot for his future in that program. Um,
Mhm.
I think a lot rides on it. I legit think that they have a decent chance at winning the Big 12. To be completely honest with you, I think Baylor has a good enough team to make a run at the Big 12, and I don't think that there's many teams in the Big 12 that stand out to me. So I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But Auburn. Whenever you think of Auburn football, it's it's either everything is going great for them or everything's going terrible for them.
And
Literally,
really, yes.
that's how it seems. Like 2010, Cam Newton, the dude picked up
Yeah.
Auburn, the entire program of Auburn, put it in his book bag, zipped it up, and ran, grabbed the national championship trophy all by himself. And
Yeah, I
then,
mean, if you we were talking about, I think earlier this week, looking back on it, not a single player beyond Cam Newton on that team played a snap in the NFL
yeah,
for
they
offensively, I believe.
yeah, nobody on that team had any offensive snaps in the NFL,
Yeah,
which is
that's a
just
crazy stat.
yeah, that's ridiculous. You had no NFL talent on your team and you on your offensive side and you won. That's
Yeah.
crazy to me. Um, but then again, dude, in 2013, it'd be the last BCS national title before the playoff with Jameis Winston. Florida State played Auburn. That year for Auburn was like a fairy tale. And I know because,
Yeah.
like I said, being a Georgia fan, I watched Auburn. I bawled as like a 10-year-old watching that game, dude. Because I remember watching, they called it realistically, I was 14. So, I mean, if you guys want to make fun of me for crying at 14, whatever. I, they called it like the miracle play because Nick Marshall threw that football up and both of our safeties collided in midair to catch that football. It's almost like you wanted to just freeze the TV screen and be like, one of you guys called us. No, I don't know. It's so, I can't even watch it anymore. It makes me sick to watch that play anymore because it's just so upsetting. And it just gives me, just like, it gives me anxiety, panic, nostalgia. Not the kind you want, the bad kind. Because it makes me
Right.
relive that moment over and over. And I can just see that guy. He wasn't even looking at the ball, dude. He was running towards the end zone, and the ball literally plopped in his arms, and he ran for a touchdown, won the game. That was like a fourth and 27, mind you.
It's
And
one of those reasons though, man. That's what makes you love college football, man. Stuff like that.
I know that is
Crazy
true.
stuff.
And then on the flip side, as an Auburn fan, that happened last year. It was like fourth and 20 for Alabama, and they chuck it to the back of the end zone and win. So like it definitely, everybody is on the winning and losing side at some point in time in college football, and it's
Yeah.
just so fantastic. It really is. There's so many highs and lows. It's
Emotional
like,
roller coaster.
yeah, dude, it's ridiculous. But needless to say, I'm taking Baylor in that game. It's home. It's 8 p.m. Auburn has been very, very shaky under Hugh Freeze. I don't. I don't think that they have the pieces put together enough to win against Baylor. I think they have the pieces to make it close, make it a football game. Um, but I think Baylor ultimately is gonna come away. What about you?
Yeah, that defense. Yep, that defense definitely. I think that they're gonna step up. They're gonna really show. I think it'll be a close game, but I do think Baylor will end up winning that game for the same reasons that you just discussed.
Copy. I I want to just, and I've been looking at this and it's just been making me. I got to get to it. I got to say it. It's just down at the bottom of the screen. I'm looking at the schedule for the weekend and it just was poking down at the bottom and it was just been building up. Texas and Ohio State. Noon. Everybody hates big noon kickoff. Everybody hates Fox for doing what they're doing. But it is what it is. Ohio State is favored -1.5 against a number one Texas team. Obviously, Ohio State, some big pieces left their team last year. The the
Mhm.
the the biggest probably being Abuka and I don't.
Both the
Here's the
running backs.
here's the thing. Yeah, you lost what Trayvon Henderson and
Clint Judkins.
yeah Quinshon Judkins. I I I don't really know if losing Will Howard is a problem for Ohio State. I think that if anything, I really don't think that Will Howard. No offense to Will Howard, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. Obviously, he was good enough to win a national title, but
Yeah,
I don't think that losing him is a downside. It's not like you lost Tim Tebow. You know what I'm saying?
correct. Yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. He's not Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, or anyone like that. But he, at the same time, he was a great game manager. He definitely had some lowlights, like the first game against Oregon. The game against Michigan, he didn't play good. He had a bad game. With their new quarterback Julian Sand coming up, I'm not sure how he's gonna do. I think he is a sophomore, I believe. I double check me on that, but I'm almost positive he's a sophomore. Uh, and I think that this is going to be a great introduction for him. Definitely something he's going to either step up and show why he deserved to be their quarterback this year. Because I know it was definitely a quarterback battle. There was a couple different names thrown out there, but he inevitably won. Jeremiah Smith obviously is Jeremiah Smith. I mean, he's gonna have something ridiculous. He's gonna do something crazy. There's just no denying it. At this point, the dude is playing out of his mind. He has been since last year. I don't really know. I don't personally. I don't really want to make a prediction for this game. Like you said, Ohio State's the 1.5 favorite. I think the only reason they're a 1.5 favorite is because that game is at the Horseshoe. If that
Oh,
game was
no
in
doubt.
Texas,
Yeah.
I think that would be flipped. I think Texas would be the 1.5 favorite. Arch Manning's got a lot to prove. I'm not sure if we touched on it earlier, but with this being like his, I think, third start
Yeah, it's like his
overall.
first true test, though. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's gonna be one hell of a
Yeah.
situation to debut
Opening.
in. I mean,
Yeah.
that Ohio State defense isn't. Those corners are good. They make they're going to be all over him. Especially with their history at the defensive line too. I know. I mean, they lost a lot of key players last year. This is a team that's coming off of a national championship, so we'll see what really happens. I
Yeah.
would
So
love to say Ohio State is going to come out and win, but I can't. I don't know.
I know, man. It's such a toss up. I feel like here's the bright side for both teams. It's out of conference. That's the big thing
Correct.
for both teams. This does not affect your conference play at all.
Yes.
And we're in a college football playoff system where even if this game is close, it benefits both teams in a sense because they both have that they played each other on their resume. I don't care if Ohio State wins or Texas wins. They both played somebody. It's not like Indiana last year where they played nobody. Granted, they still got in the
Yes.
playoff, but if it's close, then I don't think there's a real loser, in my opinion. Because I'll say this: Ohio State, after this game, they're going to play Grambling State, then Ohio, which we seen what Ohio can do, so maybe they shouldn't be overlooking them. But do that again, it's Rutgers. By the way,
Yeah.
I want to point out that Ohio game at Ohio State is a 7 o'clock p.m. game in the Horseshoe, which is
Ooh.
weird. Usually you don't see like non-Power 5 teams go play at night like that. I don't know.
Right.
Usually it's like a noon game or earlier in the day.
Yeah,
But
3:30 or something. Yeah.
then they play at Washington. Washington is, I don't think, obviously they're not where they were a couple years ago. They got a lot of rebuilding to do yet. Minnesota, but they don't have a true actual test after Texas until Illinois. And I think that the game against Texas in the first week is actually going to benefit them because it's going to get Julian saying it's going to be his first start, but it's also going to be his
Yeah.
first test. And they're going to be able to see where they sit as a program. And then they're going to have all those weeks to build and get better and better and better. And then they come back around and they have 2 out of their 3 hardest games right back to back. Well, I guess 2 of their 4 hard games on the schedule back to back. They go to Illinois, then they host Penn State, and then they have Purdue, UCLA, Rutgers, and then obviously the best
Michigan
rivalry in college football. But it I feel like if anything, if they win or they lose, it'll benefit them because they'll know where they stand and what they need to improve on early, and then they can take the rest of the year and fill in those holes.
Yeah.
Texas is a little different because, well, let me go pull up Texas's schedule, and I don't
Yes.
know
Yeah,
what it
because
is, but it's got to be harder.
they have 3 games there after the Ohio State game where they are going to have the same situation. I mean, they have San Jose State, UTEP, and Sam Houston. They're all away games, or they're all home games, so he can get comfortable. So Arch can get comfortable in that offense. I mean, I think no matter what, I think no matter what, he remains the Texas starter. I just can't
Oh yeah, for
imagine where
sure.
he played that bad. So he's gonna have those 3 games, and then he has to go to the Swamp, and that's gonna be another test. Florida has a great team this year.
Yeah, they got a great
And then
quarterback in DJ Lagway too.
and then they turn around and come back home, but then Oklahoma's there, and that's
Yeah,
gonna be another
and
tough game. And then I mean, go ahead.
I was gonna say not to really talk up this schedule because it's not overly difficult. But what I will say is every single one of these games, aside from Kentucky and Mississippi State, those are 2.
Yeah.
I think they can handle all those teams. But Florida, Oklahoma, Georgia, Texas A&M, you have a very, very desperate
And
Arkansas team this year. Like, this is a do or die year for
and
Sam Pittman.
that and
Like,
I don't want to overlook Vandy either, because I mean those
and
Vandy players have been running their mouths.
that's
So
what I
I
was gonna
mean
say
they were gonna
too.
find out.
Like, like Diego can ball, man. Whether you like him, you
Yeah.
love him, or you hate him. I mean, yeah, he runs his mouth and he's a gigantic shit talker. But
Yeah.
you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of
Who's
Trace
that?
McSorley, and I'll tell you that because
Oh, yeah.
he's not an overly great quarterback, but he's a fantastic player.
Right.
Trace McSorley was not. He ain't gonna kill you with his arm. He's gonna kill you with his attitude.
No. Yes, Trace, and he's gonna put his shoulder down. He's gonna do what he needs to do, and he's gonna do everything he can to win that game. He's just a baller, man.
I
That's
mean,
just some people got it, some people don't.
there's a reason why Penn State hasn't won against Ohio State since 2016, and it's because
Yeah.
Penn State has lacked that intensity in their
Mm-hmm.
players since then. Honestly, I mean, you look at Sean Clifford. I don't. Granted, Sean Clifford had Trace McSorley had a better team, I think, than almost every single year Sean Clifford
Yes.
had. To be honest with you, but the same thing with Drew Aller. Like they both didn't carry the same intensity that Trace Like Drew Aller is a
No.
very cool, calm, collected, and I'm not saying he's not a great leader, but I'm just saying Trace McSorley just had that different
I
dog in him.
I love to call it the Johnny football attitude. That's
Honestly,
just something that I love to call it because
that's a
Johnny. I mean, no
really
one did it like Johnny Manziel. No one did it like him. But
that's a really good take, honestly. Uh, but yeah, I would say I'm gonna make a bold prediction. I know you don't want to bet on it because you're an Ohio State fan, but I'm gonna say Ohio wins, and I'm gonna make an even bolder prediction. I'm gonna say Ohio wins by. I'm gonna say they not only cover the spread, but I think they win by. I think they win by 10.
10. I mean, that'd be yeah. I mean, I could see it happening mainly because it's a home game, and that's the biggest thing. Because in college football, the home atmosphere just matters so much.
It really
I
does.
mean, like you saw what happened when Tennessee went to Ohio State last year. I know it's a different Ohio State team, but they had to go there for that playoff game at night, and I mean that was just an intense atmosphere.
Just a totally different
Yes.
feel in
One
those.
more thing I want to touch on with Arch Manning, and I saw this today, and we talked about it before we started doing this, and I just want to bring it up again for what it's worth. And I don't really know anything about the man, but Aaron Rodgers' little brother came out and said the hype doesn't match the tape. The tape doesn't tell you that you've got a first round draft pick or number one overall draft pick. I think he's going to go to Ohio State and struggle. That was said by Jordan Rodgers, Aaron Rodgers' little brother. Like I said, I don't know anything about the man, but that was reported by CFB Alerts
Well,
and Insider Texas.
I think you told me everything I need to know. It was Aaron Rodgers' little brother that said this. That tells me
Very
literally
true.
everything I need to know. I
Exactly.
He needs to stick to just being Aaron Rodgers' little brother. I
That is a
listen,
fair assessment, in
listen.
my
I don't,
opinion, as well.
and I don't think that right now I'm not going to put Arch on a pedestal and say that he's the next Heisman Trophy winner. But I mean, there's a reason why he was a top recruit. Like
Oh yeah,
it's not like the dude was recruited out of high school for his last name. You know what I mean?
correct. Yeah,
Granted, was he? Did that help him? Did I put a spotlight on him? Sure, but
absolutely.
you still gotta go out and throw the football.
And I will say, for it putting a spotlight on him, he played pretty damn well under that spotlight to get picked up by Texas. Because you don't just get picked up by an SEC school as good. And at that point, Texas, of all teams, that, you know what I mean, is that elite program being no good. So,
Correct. I Yeah, I'm not saying that he's gonna come out and sling it. I think he's gonna act. I think he'll struggle against Ohio. It's his first start. It's in the horseshoe,
correct.
toxic environment, early season jitters. I think he's gonna struggle, and I don't think they're gonna win.
Mm.
But I think he's gonna be fine. And I also want to point out just real quick before we move on, that he even came out and said that him leaving for the draft was not set in stone. So the fact that this guy's coming out and saying about a first overall draft pick, like even Arch came out and said that he wasn't sure if he's staying or going. So
Right.
this guy's dealing with.
And, you know,
Sorry, go ahead.
with the way NIL, yes, you know, with the way NIL stuff is now, I don't even know if it makes a whole lot of sense to go, because most of these players are making more money in college than they would on a rookie contract in the NFL anyway.
Yeah, honestly, you're not wrong.
I mean, if they're just money hungry, like it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Well,
On
yeah,
the
look,
flip side, I mean, you got to go to class, you got to keep your GPA up. Like, there's stuff you got to do, but I mean,
that and
then
I feel like
I'm just
you also run the risk of like plummeting your draft stock if it's already
correct.
high. If it's already high. But here's the thing,
Yes,
you that extra year of playing experience can do a lot for you. Now, is there a lot of risk? Absolutely. You could go in there and second game in, blow your ACL and end your career. So there's a lot of risk involved in it, and I understand why they want to get that bag. Like, I understand. But I think that there's different situations where it's better for this person compared to that person. Arch Manning, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say he probably does not need the money, given what his last name is. Um, so
Right.
I think it would be beneficial for him to linger in college and get that experience. But hey,
And
man,
then
I mean,
I think that all dictates, like we said, on the year he has. Now, if he goes out and balls out in these games, you know what I mean? Like we talked about their
yeah,
schedule,
sure,
it is tough. If he balls out and stuff and his draft stock's up there, I mean, why wouldn't you want to get up there in the NFL? That's really where the best of the best are playing.
correct.
So it would make sense, but I just don't know if that's what's going to happen. I mean, it's a lot. So we'll see though.
Yeah,
Definitely, it's definitely intriguing.
yeah, a lot to be said there. We'll move on. We'll touch on the Alabama Florida State game, and then we'll probably touch on the LSU Clemson game, and then the Miami Notre Dame game, and then we'll just go through and just quickly give our picks. So I'm gonna say the Alabama Florida State game. I'm gonna be the one to say it. I don't know if anyone else is thinking this, but I think Alabama goes to Florida State, and I think they throttle them. That's just me. I'm thinking,
Bama goes to Florida and
yeah, but Alabama's favored by 14 points in this game. I
and
don't.
I and rightfully so in my opinion.
Oh yeah, dude. They have an elite wide receiver core. Alabama. They
Yeah.
have a. I don't know too much to say about their quarterback. Um, it- but it's Alabama. When's the last time Alabama had a bad quarterback?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to
I
really
mean, you're talking about a QB room that had Tua Tagovailoa and Jalen Hurts
Jalen.
in at the same time. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
those are
talent.
two quarterbacks.
Yeah,
Like,
talent is not an issue in Alabama football.
no,
So,
no.
um, and I don't think that Florida State is, given the year that they had, I still don't think that they're still in rebuild mode in my eyes. Like I don't even think that program is back to believing in themselves yet
I think
after last year.
ever since they did, yeah, because they didn't let them into playoffs, and that was like so detrimental to them, and it really like just hurt them mentally, and they've just never recovered, in my opinion. And I understand, rightfully so. You missed the playoffs, and that was a very unique situation. I don't know
Yeah,
if I agree with him. It is what it is. I'm
but
a Florida State guy,
here's the thing.
so
You ready for this? They missed the playoffs to Alabama.
yeah. So this should be a game that they've had circled on their schedule that they want to. They should go out here and want to do something. I
Yeah,
just don't know if that is going to be enough, though.
I don't think anybody wants to win this game more than Mike Norvell.
Yeah.
Whether or not they're going to have the talent, I don't know. I don't think they will, but we'll find out. Going to, and I think this is potentially the biggest game of the week in my eyes, and it's LSU and Clemson, because Clemson in their last, I think, like 22 games or something like that, I read, they're like 19 and 22 in their last 22 home games. They've won 19, obviously, or something of
Okay.
that nature. I don't know if that's the correct stat line, but it's close. Like, Clemson is terrific at winning at home. Brian Kelly is currently winless in his opening week 1 games, or
Yeah,
week 0
I've seen
games.
that. I saw that stat too. That's a crazy stat to have, especially with LSU, the program that they are. That
He
they are that unsuccessful.
granted I mean, they've been playing premier opponents each week, each year in the beginning. Having said that, Brian Kelly is on, I would say the burner got turned on last year whenever they got eliminated from the playoff. I don't think it was, people were saying last year, whenever he lost week 1 last year, or week 0, whichever it was, that was it. He was fired. I didn't think so.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever they got eliminated from the playoff, whenever they threw that last game and they got eliminated in the playoff, I don't know who was it. I think it was it Florida? I think maybe, if I remember correctly, I think Florida spoiled their chances for the playoff. I think, could be wrong. Either way, that was whenever the football the AD down there in LSU said, "All right, I'm turning on the burner." So now the seat's warming up. The burner's on. Brian Kelly needs to find a way to turn the gas off because, and honestly, I think it starts with beating Clemson. I got a lot of faith in Garrett Nussmeier. I got a lot of faith in that LSU team. The problem remains is if Brian Kelly can get it done. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think they do, because you're talking about a Clemson team with the win record at home they have, at night, at home. Dabo Swinney is their coach. It's not a very good opening scene again for Brian Kelly. Like, this is potentially one of the worst teams that you could have had for an opening week 1 and where they're playing. Like, it'd be different if they're on a neutral site field. They're not. They're playing in Death Valley. They're playing Memorial Stadium. Like, that tells me right there that it's a LSU is already right out of the gate. They're on the chopping block for that game. They need to keep that game close to have a chance. I'd say the only way that they have a chance in this football game is if their defense finds a way to stop Clemson and their wideouts, because Clemson's wideouts, Clemson, I think, has, I don't know if Clemson or Penn State has the most returning players in
It's close.
There's a lot of returning players on that Clemson football team, and they returned a lot of wideouts, and it is elite on that offense.
Correct. The thing with Clemson is, I don't know if this stat has changed, but I don't think they did anything in a transfer portal. That's not something that they.
Yeah, that goes against Dabo's like principles. Yeah, well, I was just gonna say Dabo's he disgraces the transfer portal.
Correct. And I mean, personally, I don't disagree with him. I don't like the idea. The only reason you should be transferring is if you're stepping down to like a lower school because you're not getting playing time, or if for academic purposes. Beyond that, I'm not a big fan of the transfer portal myself.
I agree.
But I feel like he may get away with it for a couple, maybe this year, maybe next. But it's going to be really hard to.
You think it's going to catch up to him?
I think it will catch up to him eventually, because you have all these other big schools that are doing it. I mean, you got like Penn State's doing it, Ohio State, pretty much everyone. I mean, everyone in the Big Ten, the SEC. You got Bama taking transfers like crazy, UCLA. Like, there's these great teams. Oregon, Texas is in it.
Yeah, dude, it's getting worse. It's getting worse and worse every year. Like, every year, I feel like it just gets worse.
Yeah, and I mean, it's honestly hard to keep up with because you have this going on. I mean, it's worse than this is kind of might be a bold statement, but it's harder to keep up with this than it is free agency in the NFL. I mean, there's just so many pieces moving.
That's a really good take, because you're not wrong at all. There's so much. It's been. I mean, there's been. Look at that guy from, that recruit from Oregon. I don't know I can't remember if he was a recruit or a transfer. I think he was a recruit. Yeah. He was a recruit. He committed to Oregon. He made that really cringy recruitment video with Dan Lannon jumping in the pool.
Yeah,
did you see that?
Yes, I did, bro. Then he decommitted like 2 weeks later or something.
He decommitted, dude. It's like, you cannot make this stuff up, dude. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Like, man, it's so frustrating, because it's frustrating for the coaches, but they can't come out and express their frustration, or no one's going to want to deal with that. Like, no one's going to want to come to their school. They have to be like open-ended. These players these days, they're just so fragile when it comes to really realistically money. It's just money is what the
Oh
issue is.
yeah, yeah, and I mean they're gonna have to put a cap on just like they have in the NFL at some point in time because it's just that's what you said. The money is just gonna come down to whatever school is willing to pay me the most money is where I'm gonna go. I mean, that's just not what football is. It's never what college football was. I mean, there's traditions and stuff, and that's why it's great. And I'd hate to see that stuff go away.
Yeah, and it's not trending in the right direction. Um,
No.
where are you sitting on the Clemson game? Who do you think is gonna win that?
So, so I mean, I picked LSU to
Yeah.
be in the Final Four. I'm sticking with LSU in this game. I do think that they go in there, and I think that they shock a lot of people with how badly they felt they blew it last year with not being able to get in a good playoff run. I think they're going to show up and really ball out. I think it's going to be a close game. I think they're going to do exactly what you said. They're going to keep it close. They're going to be able to they need to lock down these receivers if they want to win this game, and it's going to be telling early on depending on how well they can contain those receivers because I think that's the biggest thing with that quarterback. Klubnik is a great quarterback for Clemson, and they just really have to shut them down. And we'll know early, I feel. If they come out and they're getting burnt and beat a lot and often, I feel like this game could get really out of hand. But if they can keep it close, I think LSU does pull it out in the end.
All right, here's a. Do you think Clemson covers or no? Do you think it's closer than four and a
What?
half?
Yes, I do. I think this is a 3-point game.
That's what I was gonna say
I
too.
do think this is.
I I think it could be. I'm thinking it's gonna have to be. I don't know if LSU has the firepower to sling it back and forth with Clemson. Let me put that. I
Yeah.
think I think they do, but we're talking a hostile environment, loud
Mm-hmm.
miscommunication. I think their their key to success is finding a way to keep this game low scoring. Um,
Yes, exactly.
and I think they'll do it. I personally think that Clemson is gonna have a late push. Um, I don't
Mhm.
know. I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything, but maybe a kick with time expiring. I don't know. Maybe we might
Yeah,
we might get to see another Brian Kelly fist bump, or fist pound at the table after week one. But
you never know.
all right, so you're going LSU. I'm going Clemson. I think we'll keep track of this. We'll see like each week who does better with their picks. Uh,
Do
I
that, yeah.
think the last one we're gonna talk about is uh is Notre Dame Miami.
Yeah.
I wanna very briefly go over Virginia Tech and South Carolina, but we'll do that one first because it's earlier in the day. Um, so
Hmm.
what are you thinking there? VT at South Carolina, but it's not a traditional away game for VT. It's being played in the Mercedes Benz Stadium in Atlanta, so it'll probably be
Yeah, so that
split.
okay. Yeah, it's a dome stadium. I mean, it's one of the most notorious stadiums in football. I like South Carolina there. VT has a very good team, though, I will say. I think that they do have a more than a fighting chance to win that game. But at the end of the day, I just think South Carolina has too much for them, and I don't think that VT is going to be able to keep up.
Yeah, I would say that I don't think VT is. It's not like they're charging into their. It's not like they don't have a chance to win. I think that South Carolina is just too talented. Lenora Sellers, I don't care what anybody says. Listen, you can write it down, seal it, send it. Lenora Sellers will be in New York. I'm telling you. At the end of the season, he will be in New York. I'm not saying he's going to be grabbing that trophy and striking the pose, but I'm telling you, he will be getting an invite. I guarantee you, Lenore Sellers will be in New York this year as a sophomore at the Heisman ceremony. Write it down, lock it up. South Carolina covers the spread. They're -7.5. I think they win by more than 2 touchdowns. I just think that Lenore Sellers is honestly going to be too much for Virginia Tech to handle. We're talking about a guy who had not the greatest receiving core last year, and still found a way to make South Carolina a very dangerous team. And I think that this
Yeah,
year it's even going to be better. I would go as far as saying I would put South Carolina in the playoff. I'm very, very high on South Carolina this year. I got big expectations, and I'm going to be very upset. I shouldn't say upset, but I'm going to be very shocked
yeah,
if they don't win this game. Um,
yeah. I agreed.
Miami and Notre Dame. This is one where I I think this game
So
could go either way.
yeah, I mean, I think it's going to depend a lot on what we see of CJ Carr. The redshirt freshman that was named Notre Dame's quarterback. I mean, we know what we're getting with Carson back. We've
Correct.
watched him play at Georgia for a couple years. He's always had talent around him. He's always, he's been in great programs and stuff. But CJ Carr is a question mark for me. I don't really know a lot about him. I know that Freeman came out and said that he had to trust his gut with picking CJ Carr. So
Yeah,
that tells me this situation was very close in the quarterback room.
and if I'm not mistaken, isn't CJ Carr, he's related to Lloyd Carr, the Michigan head coach. I think he's like I'm pretty sure he's his grandson, which is just crazy
Take
to
a
me that
look.
I'm pretty sure I saw that Marcus Freeman said he's gonna trust his gut on CJ Carr,
Yes.
but
Yeah,
I'm
he is the grandson of legendary former Michigan coach Lloyd Carr.
which is crazy to me that he went to Notre Dame. Like Notre Dame and Michigan have like a pretty old standing rivalry, and he went to Notre Dame. That's crazy to me. But I would say yes, correct. I agree with you. We know what we're gonna get from Carson Beck. And listen, I'm a Georgia Bulldog fan. I've said it a few times now, but I just want to get it out before I say this. Last year's problems for Georgia were not Carson Beck's problems. I don't care what anybody says. Could he have played better? Yeah. Did he have the Trace
Oh
McSorley,
yeah.
Johnny Manziel effect as a player? No, not at all. I mean, I remember on the sideline we were losing, and we were actually actively losing. They were taking a knee to lose the game, and he was laughing on the sideline. I was not a happy camper as a fan that day. It just made me think
Can't say I
that,
would be either watching my starting quarterback do that.
yeah, laugh on the sideline as we lose, but whatever. I think Carson Beck, it, I think he will play the way Carson Beck plays. The question is, how's the rest of Miami going to play? Mario Cristobal has a very, very renowned reputation of going into games with high expectations and underperforming. It seems like he almost always finds a way to win, is the thing.
Yeah,
But
he
it's
finds a way to pull it out.
it's always like you're like, how is this a top 10 team when you're watching them? Does Carson Beck fix that and more depth? And I think they got some people. I think they got some transfers on the wide receiver wide receiver position. So I'm
Yep.
thinking that'll
Would
help
not, yeah.
them. But I think Miami, their key to winning this game is keeping this game within reach, not letting Notre Dame run the football all over you. They need to stop
That's
the
what I
run.
was
I
just
mean,
getting ready to ask you. Did Notre Dame lose the running back that they had last year?
no, he's back. He's back.
Okay. I mean, so single-handedly, if there's one play that I think describes that
Yeah,
man's
dude.
college career
The
is
Penn
that run
State.
against Penn State. It was phenomenal. I mean, that right there, that's a player that wants to win a football game. That's the Johnny Manziel attitude that we're talking about. That
Jeremiah,
he's gonna win a man football game.
yeah, Jeremiah Love is his name. He's back
Yes.
again this year. He will go to the NFL next year for sure, but he's back this year. And honestly, I I'm taking a bold pick. I think Jeremiah Love has a lackluster performance because I think Mario Cristobal knows that they need to stop Notre Dame's run. I think that Mario Cristobal is going to be able to put a wrap underneath them. I think that
Correct. And go
well,
ahead.
I was just gonna say I think that Miami comes out with has a big first win under the Carson Beck era. I think it's close, but I think Miami is gonna get it done. I'm gonna say like a 3 to 6 point game. I the problem here lies with I I'm not very high on either, but I'm really not that high on Notre Dame because I don't know what to expect. Besides
Yeah.
besides the running back. I know Jeremiah Love is a fantastic running back. But like you
Hmm.
said, starting CJ Carr, I don't know I don't know what to expect. I haven't seen him. You know what I mean? I have no
Yeah. And I
idea.
mean, Miami would be a fool not to come out there and key off of Love and make the
Exactly.
freshman beat you. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you got to do, especially in this situation, because this is the biggest game this kid's ever been in his life. You're playing college football, and it's a top 10 opponent. I mean,
Yeah.
I know they're
At
10,
night,
but it's
at
still a
home.
top 10 opponent. Yeah, at home at night. Like, don't get me wrong, it is in their favor. This game is at Notre Dame, correct?
No, no, it's at home in Miami.
Oh, oh, okay. So yeah, you're on the road for your first start at a top 10 opponent. I mean, it's going to be a very, very hard battle for this kid to come out and do. Not
No,
saying he can't do it, but I just haven't seen anything to show me that he can do it either.
yeah, and I think that I want to reiterate, like I think that this game could go either way. I would not be
Yeah,
surprised if Notre Dame wins. I just think that Miami has the tools to win, especially 7:30 p.m. at Hard Rock Stadium. You got your veteran transfer again. Last year they had Cam Ward. This year they got another veteran transfer from Carson Beck, arguably the projected number one overall draft pick next year. I don't know, kind of that's very debatable. I would say that this past year, Travis Hunter probably should have been the overall pick, but the Tennessee
yes.
Titans said, "Hold my beer. I'm going to draft Cam Ward." Pretty stupid in my eyes, but whatever. Could be the same situation. A team is very desperate for a quarterback. They draft Carson Beck, thinking they're going to have the next Drew Brees, and they skimp out on. Well, I don't know. Would he be? He's only a sophomore, right? What's his name for Ohio State? I cannot think.
Really insane.
No. The wide receiver. Oh my gosh.
Jeremiah Smith, yeah, I
Yeah,
believe
Jeremiah
he
Smith
is.
is he eligible for the draft? He should be after this year, I think, right? Pretty sure I think he's a sophomore this year. Yeah, so I think he's there for two
Okay,
more
so
years.
2027 is when he'll be eligible for the draft
Yeah,
at the earliest because he has to be 3 years removed from high school to enter.
yeah. So yeah, I that would have solidified. I would say that Carson Beck is in the running. I would say
Yeah,
Carson Beck or Drew Aller are the projected right now over one overall. But
yeah, that is completely fair. Now, and a name we mentioned earlier that could still be there is Arch Manning. We don't know what's going to happen or what he'll do yet,
yeah, that's
but
totally up in the air.
yeah,
All right, you said
but it's going to be.
you're taking Notre Dame. You said
No, I believe I'm gonna go with Miami. I just don't. If I knew more about the quarterback situation in Notre Dame, I would probably lean Notre Dame, but I'm too on the fence with CJ Card to really commit there. I
copy.
trust Carson Beck to be able to game manage that for them to win, as long as their defense shows up.
I can agree with that. Um, I'm gonna go down through, and we're just gonna pick the winner for each game to close out the segment. I'm just gonna some of these we
Don't
have
even
already.
throw out some of them, but you know.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm gonna say um some of the ones we've already talked about, but I'm gonna put them on the record last. That way, I can go back and tally up our picks easier than having to go back and fish through the podcast. Um, so for tomorrow, Auburn Baylor.
Baylor.
Okay, Georgia Tech, Colorado.
Georgia Tech.
All right, I'm taking Baylor and Tech as well. You said you're not going to go Texas, Ohio State for personal purpose or reasons. I'm going to say Ohio
Yeah.
State, but
Okay.
I won't hold it against our record because you're not picking
Yeah.
Syracuse. Syracuse at number 24 Tennessee. Tennessee's favored 14.5.
Tennessee.
Yeah, I'm going to go Tennessee as well. I don't think the Syracuse has the team losing how many people they
Mhm.
lost. Okay. Now this is I mean, I guess you could label it as a kind of a throwaway game, but Mississippi State has been very, very wobbly. Mississippi State at Southern Miss.
I'm gonna go Mississippi State.
I'm going to go Mississippi State as well, but I do think that Southern Miss has a chance to potentially pull out an SEC victory. Mississippi State's only
Yeah, that'd
favored
be
by
big.
13.5. So
That'd be big for Southern Miss, but I just don't see. That's not one I could see happening, but it could. I mean,
here's a big sleeper game for week 1. Northwestern at Tulane. Tulane's favored 4.5. I'm taking Tulane.
yeah. So my Northwestern is, in my opinion, the worst, one of the worst, if not the worst team in the Big Ten.
Yeah, Northwestern has been ever since Pat Fitzgerald left, they have been very, very, very shaky.
Yeah.
Okay. Nevada at Penn State. We know who's gonna win, but I'm gonna ask you
Yeah.
right now if you think Penn's first off, if you think Penn State's gonna cover spread, it's 43.5. You think
I
they
do.
cover that?
I do. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I do.
I'm gonna say they don't. I'm gonna say that
Okay.
I think that they're gonna come out. I think it'll be like a 38-10 victory, but 44. That's I don't know. To me, that's a little much. I'm gonna do the same thing with Marshall at Georgia. Obviously, I think we both can agree Georgia's probably gonna win that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think you're gonna cover their line is 38.5?
I don't know. I don't know their quarter. I don't even know who the fuck Georgia's quarterback is. What's his name?
Gunnar Stockton.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Um, I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I mean, obviously they win, but I just don't think they win by 38
Yeah, I'm
or
gonna say
39, I guess.
it's right on that threshold. Again, I'm gonna say they win like 38-10, 41 to
Yeah.
41 to 14, somewhere in that range. I don't think they cover either. Okay, Alabama at Florida State. I'm gonna go Alabama.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. See what else we got here. Obviously, LSU at Clemson. We covered that. You're taking LSU. I'm taking Clemson. California at Oregon State. 10:30 p.m. Oregon State's favored 1.5.
Cal at Oregon State. I'm gonna go Cal.
I'm going Cal as well. I think Cal has a better team.
Hmm.
Hawaii at Arizona. 10:30 game. Arizona's
Bro, give
favored
me
17
Hawaii.
and a half. Oh, wait, you're
Give
taking
me
Hawaii?
Hawaii, bro. I watched them play that last week. Yeah, I'm riding the train for one more week.
Oh my god, dude. I'm gonna I'm
That's my
gonna
long shot, bro. Right there, you can say it's my long shot of
that's
the
your
week. I don't care.
taking Hawaii. I'm gonna go Arizona. Oh, yeah. All right, Utah at UCLA. And this is I want to just real quick, this is a huge game because Utah had a horrid season last year.
Yes, they did.
On the flip side, this is Nico. I'm not even gonna try and say his last name. This is his first game at UCLA. So, do you think that he is enough for UCLA to beat Utah, or do you think it's 11 p.m., dude? 11 p.m. game.
Okay. This pains me to say, but yes, I think he's good. I think that they will win that game. I really don't want him to win that game because I can't stand him because he's. Mm,
I know,
but
yeah.
yeah, yes,
Like a drama cesspool follows him.
yeah, bro. I can't do that.
Okay, Colorado State at Washington, and This is a sleeper game as well because Washington is a heavy favorite, but I actually don't think that Fowler Nicholsey or whatever, the one who had a lot of beef with Shadur Sanders last year, I don't think he's that bad at quarterback. It's at Washington at 11 p.m. I'm taking Washington just because
So am I.
it's a late game at Washington Husky Stadium.
Hmm.
They can be pretty toxic, but I do think that has the potentiality to be a pretty decent game in my eyes.
Yeah.
Um, Eastern Michigan at Texas State, and I'm only throwing this
What
out
kind of
there. I'm only throwing this out there because this one guy I know, uh, pretty high on Texas State this year. Not from a standpoint of like a college football playoff standpoint, but from the standpoint of Texas State making a run in the Sun Belt. I don't
Okay.
know why, but for some reason, the Texas State's favored 13.5.
What the hell? Give me Texas State.
I'm gonna take Texas State as well.
I
That's a
don't know a
pretty
damn thing about them.
that's a pretty long way for Eastern Michigan to go.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna bring up this last one before we get into the last two, just because of the university. Florida versus Long Island University.
Oh my gosh.
First off, I clicked on their ESPN profile. I had no idea this school even existed. Let me read you their schedule, okay? At Florida at 7 p.m. in the Swamp. Then they play at Eastern Michigan. By the way, I want to say I think Eastern Michigan beats that team by 21, and that's saying some shit. Then they go and play, and this is where it gets really bad, dude. They play Sacred Heart. That's a legit college football team. Then they play at Rhode Island, at Stonehill, at Mercyhurst. Never even heard of that. Versus Robert Morris, which is Pennsylvania school. Versus New Haven. Versus C Connecticut. At St.
Where's my phone?
Francis. Versus, and then they have Wagner. That is their schedule. And they play the Florida Gators first, bro.
Yeah, and I'm sending you a Snapchat right now of their football team. I just want you to, I don't know if your phone's right by you, but if you can grab that and open that is the size of the team we're working with here. So
Oh my God.
if I mean they're going to Florida. If 3 or 4 of those go down from injuries, bro,
Bro,
that's not good.
what is the spread on this game? Does this game even have? I would bet you this game.
I don't think
If
you can bet on the spread
yeah,
because it's
because they know it's gonna be 400-0.
yes.
Or
I mean, you want to
yeah, it
talk about
doesn't.
taking a dive on your first games on the schedule?
Bro, that is it has no spread because the spread's literally gotta be like -80. Dude, that is terrible. I cannot shame on Florida for scheduling that game, dude. Like,
Yes. I mean,
ah,
it's one thing to go out and play UTEP, you know,
yeah.
who
I
is
mean,
UTEP, but like, come on, bro, what are you doing?
all right. Here's a big one. Toledo at Kentucky.
Ooh, that's really intriguing.
Kentucky is only a 9.5 point favorite. I've been hearing some shit about Toledo, and I've been hearing they've got a ball team.
I think I think Kentucky wins, but doesn't cover.
You think it's closer?
I do because, like you said, you've been hearing some things, and dude, that Toledo team is nothing to be slept on. They're a good football team. For a MAC team, that team's good.
That team gave you some issues in college football 26.
Yes, it did, bro,
Uh,
and rightfully so. Looking at that roster, though, I'm like, okay, it's a little bit respectable.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go Kentucky. I'm gonna say they do cover, but I think it's like a 14-point game. I'm gonna say it's like
Right. It's
31-17 or
not
something
like a
like that.
massive.
Yeah, I don't think they blow them out by any
Yeah.
means, but I think they get the job done. Okay, this is another one. Uh, where did it go? I just had it. I just scrolled down and lost it. Where was it? Where was it? I just totally lost it. It was Coastal Carolina, but I cannot remember who they play.
Is it Coastal? Hold on, let me see if I can.
Oh, okay.
Can
Coastal
you not?
Carolina. Coastal at Virginia. 6 p.m.
Virginia. Coastal's got a very bad football team.
See, I don't know anything about Coastal this year. I'm gonna go Virginia, but it intrigued me because Virginia equally has been pretty bad as of recent years, but
Yeah.
they're only at 11.5 points favorite, and that's a 6 p.m. game at night at Virginia. So that's a little. I didn't think that it was gonna be quite that tight, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna also go Virginia. Okay, so we both agreed South Carolina. We both agreed Miami. The last game, Monday, and I've been itching to talk about this one for
Ooh,
a
a
second too.
Monday game. Oh,
TCU at North Carolina, Bill Belichick's first game as the North Carolina head coach at 8 p.m. TCU is the favorite in this game. They're minus 3.5 on the road at 8 p.m. at North Carolina. I'm going to say Bill Belichick gets his first win right out of the gate with North Carolina. I don't think that TCU has a bad team. I don't think that they have a team that's going to go on the road week 1, 8 p.m., hostile environment. Well, semi-hostile environment on the road.
yeah.
I think that North Carolina is going to have just enough to squeak out a win. I'm talking like a 1 or 2 point victory here.
Okay. Yeah, I will agree. I think that Belichick is also going to win that. Um, I think it's going to be like a statement game for him, and that it's very important that he wins this game for his own ego. And I don't how Belichick is as a head coach for his team's
Yeah, like that.
safety.
Yeah. Here's the biggest
Because
thing.
he's
Does does his girlfriend watch it on TV or no? Because she's banned from facilities, so she's not there. Is that? Do you think that plays a part in Bill Belichick potentially losing, not having his honey there?
no. I don't think Belichick cares
You think
about
Bill's
that
okay?
very
All right.
much, bro. I think Bill's fine.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see. I'll tally up all these and get the picks together and
Okay.
see what happens. I don't know. Pretty exciting stuff. Week 1, dude. It's so crazy that college football has come full course all the way back around, and we're back in week 1 already again.
Yeah.
Before we log off here, I do want to just go look at the Nebraska game real quick and see what's going on there. Okay, 13-3 as it
That
sits right
game
now.
is
So it's
Yep.
looking like Nebraska's gonna slowly suffocate Cincinnati. But yeah,
They're just pulling away slowly.
we'll wrap up here. Appreciate you guys all for tuning in. We'll probably come back probably Tuesday maybe, because we'll have that Monday night game. So probably see how that plays out, and then we'll probably come back Tuesday and do a recap on everything, see how everything went. I'm thinking we're gonna have some pretty crazy shit to talk about come Tuesday, so should be a pretty good show. But yeah, I guess we'll wrap her up here and see what we get to watch this weekend.
See how these picks go.